everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. So I don't think I've ever had so much trouble reading a book as I did this one. I just couldn't sort through my feelings. Like, I really liked it, but I also didn't like it. I don't know, so I'm going to try my hardest to be concise with this review. I should be pretty good since I've already kind of written it down, but yeah, I'm really mixed feelings on it, so you'll kind of get that vibe. So if you didn't know, this book is kind of a more fantasy retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and it takes place in a kind of fantastical dystopian world that I believe was Rome or Greece, or maybe both. I don't know. It's called like Roman Gracia, something like that. So since birth, the main character Nyx has known that she is destined to marry the evil demon ruler because of a bargain her father made in the past. So she is being raised with a mission to seduce him and then kill him after she marries him. So, of course, when she gets there, it is not as easy as she expected, and she ends up kind of between a rock and a hard place. So, the main problem I had with this book was it was kind of confusing at times. Especially in the first two chapters, a lot of the world building was really rushed. And this book is combining two mythologies. So we have Greek mythology, which is kind of weaved into the fairy tale mythology. And when you're doing that, I think you really need to take care to explain things. There's like, I don't think you could over-explain, because Greek mythology is really complicated. And I think when you're combining two different, very well-known stories, you need to really be able to make sure your readers have an understanding of what is going on, and I just don't think that understanding was there. Like, the first two chapters were just jam-packed with like all of the information about the world and the setting, and it made it kind of confusing, and a lot of even her destiny was just shoved in there, and I was just like, whoa, like it was an information overload, and it just made me, I didn't realize what was going on, and I was just pretty overall confused. So if you had asked me to rate the book a quarter of the way through, I would have said that it was 2, maybe 2.5 stars, because it was just confusing. I mean, the concept was awesome, but the execution was a little bit lacking. However, once I got past the confusion and I started to understand what was going on, the story became more enjoyable. I mean, I wasn't completely enthralled by it, but it was entertaining enough. So what really changed my thoughts on this book for me was the fact that a lot of the elements of the plot were just so unexpected. They came out of the blue. I don't know if it's because I was kind of confused a little bit at times, but I just didn't anticipate any of the plot twists. I couldn't figure anything out, and the ending is what just solidified it for me. I would have just rated this a 3 before the ending, but the last like 100 or 50 or so pages, they gave it the extra 0.75 because it was just an incredible ending. It was so interesting and just unexpected. And you'd think when you're reading a story based on a classic fairy tale that you would expect the ending, but the way that she executed it was just so different from what I was anticipating. So the characters were pretty interesting. Nyx, her emotions were a little bit all over the place at times, which once again kind of added to the confusion. She didn't really know how she felt, and I understand she didn't have the best childhood, but she still kind of was like jumping all over the place, and it was a little bit too frequent of like decisions that she would go back on, and I just wish she would have been more solid in her place and known what she had wanted more so, like not completely, but just a little bit more of a solid character, because since she was so all over the place, it was really hard to get a feel for who she was and kind of appreciate her as a character. And then we have Ignifix, who is just the bad boy you couldn't help but love. He was probably my favorite character. He was just really enjoyable. And finally, we have Shade, and he was a very complicated character, so I'm really not sure how I feel about him. I don't even want to get into that. So overall, I gave this book a 3.75 star rating on Goodreads. I thought it was a kind of dark and twisted, kind of mysterious retelling of Beauty and the Beast that didn't focus so much on the romance aspect of it, but did have other things to offer. However, I loved the concept, but I think the execution was only a partial success. I think if she hadn't kind of rushed through everything so much, the story would have been a lot more engaging and it would have just all made sense. So to sum it up, maybe I would recommend this to a friend. Specifically if they were asking for a fairy tale retelling, that's when I would recommend it to them. Yes, I will be reading more from this author in the future. I think she has a lot to offer, and it is her first novel, so it's not going to be perfect. But I do think she has the potential to be a very amazing author. I mean, this book wasn't bad, but I just think she needs to take more care in kind of explaining her plot. And finally, no, I don't think I will reread it. I didn't really enjoy it enough. I mean, maybe, but I really don't think so. So that is all for this review. I hope you found it informative. I will link the Goodreads page down below, as well as the book depository and Amazon links to buy this book if you are interested. I actually got it off of Book Outlet, so if you want to check there, they might still have it, I'm not sure, or if you want to check in the future. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!